Okay, we're going to talk about is epilepsy genetic? And sometimes yes, sometimes no. Why? And that is because, well, let's rewind a little bit. Epilepsy, you get diagnosed with a seizure disorder like epilepsy if you get chronic seizures. Now, chronic seizures can come from a variety of things. They can come from head injury, they can come from strokes, they can come from tumors, they can come from brain infections. You can also just be like you can just for whatever reason be born with a lower seizure threshold than your average person. What does that mean? Okay, here's your seizure threshold. If you have epilepsy, here's your seizure threshold. Now, when your brain is firing all day, if it goes above the seizure threshold, you're at risk, and every once in a while, boop, you have a seizure. That's how it works. Now, if your seizure threshold is lower, more risk. That's the simplest way to explain it. Um, they did tie like there's a small percentage, like 2 to 5%, where like if a parent has epilepsy, like is diagnosed with it, there's like a 2 to 5% chance that like their child can have it. Um, Now, I also let's see, I also read that what did they tie? They tied like childhood seizure disorder syndrome is like the most tightly they tied that to genetics the most tightly. Um, Other than that, no, it's like a very mysterious thing. It just kind of comes on, and it comes on midlife. Like, um, I was diagnosed when I was 21. I was talking to a friend recently. He was recently diagnosed. I think he's in his mid 50s. So yeah, it happens 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whenever. But generally speaking, and it makes sense. Like seizures are brought on by things like stress, sleep deprivation, anxiety, i.e., stress, um, just all the things that, kind of keep you running hot, like kind of keep you, reactive, in other words. A lot of caffeine, any like, you know, drugs like that, even downers like benzos, because then when you come off of them, your brain spikes. Um, so it can make sense that once you start to hit like, early adulthood and midlife, when the shit hits the fan, you never knew you had a lower seizure threshold than most people until shit starts to get real. Then all of a sudden you're having seizures. That's kind of how I make sense of it. It's like, oh yeah, all this time I didn't know I had a low seizure threshold because I was just like lollygagging throughout life, like not really worried about shit because I was just like in school, living at my mom's house. You know, if you want to look at it that way. No, but in all honesty, that's kind of how it is. It's like you're just born with, or you can develop a lower seizure threshold than your average person. Um, and then that just puts you at a higher risk. And if you have, you know, chronic seizures over time, you're going to get diagnosed. They're going to put you on medication, and hopefully that medication is going to help to manage and control the seizures. And they're not going to stop forever, but, they're going to be few and far between.